Alright, so welcome to our Hydrating Community Project for Mr. Matt Peterson. My name is Coleman Sell. This is Thatch Townsend, Dmitry Kutanovich, and Jake Diamond. Our goal is short and simple. We wanted to keep it sweet. Our goal is to get 100 schools to sponsor a school in East Africa in order to drill a well, hopefully drill a well, if not, at least some sort of well. It entails a $10,000 donation to drill that well close to that school with chances that it's in walking distance. The NIS proposal, this is a convention that goes on every year. This year it happens to be in Atlanta, Georgia. So it'll be a quick trip for Mr. Barrier, who goes every year for our independent schools. The premium booth entails a 6-skirt table right here, and it's in a higher traffic area. We're hoping to make this stand with an outlet somewhere close by so we could get a TV and possibly play the video that you played for us first day, because that video really pulled at the heartstrings, and really in the 21st century, I know for sure that I love to watch a video before I want to read a whole poster. So then the standard booth is just a step down. It's not as high a traffic area. We're hoping to send Mr. Barrier as well as Mr. Peterson with him so that he can kind of propose his whole idea of the whole situation and what they've been doing for the past decade or so.
Alright, I think it's also worth mentioning there are going to be around from 1,500 to 1,800 schools at this conference, and they're all independent schools from across the nation. And at the last conference in 2017, I believe there were at least 5,500 representatives from those schools. So there's going to be a lot of traffic. So our strategy is we want for you to incorporate some kind of videos or like moving photos with like Ken Burns effect or something of that nature to draw people in, to draw their attention, because some like bright moving lights will draw people in. And then once people are there, we want you to use like more emotional images and emotional videos rather than like statistics, because while statistics are great, they don't really tend to convince people as well because people aren't necessarily logical. And I was looking at a study that researched people with similar like brain damage and their decision-making skills, and then how emotion can affect their decision-making skills, and that's how I drew the conclusion that pathos would be the most effective method for getting support.
The expenses of this project. First of all, there's two key differences between a premium booth and a standard booth. A premium booth is, like Coleman said, in a high traffic area with more people actually looking at you. Both booths are practically the same. You get a table, 2 chairs, and a wastebasket. And the standard booth is in a non-traffic area. Some of the other expenses might include like whether you would like to drive there with Mr. Barry, or maybe he would like to fly over there. And again, staying in a hotel, and these expenses will all vary depending on your preference, like what you want to do. And through our estimation as a group, we assume that the cost of this trip would probably be around $6,000, but we also think that the reward is like way more bigger. And like Thatch said, with 1,800 schools there and a lot of people to talk to, I'm sure that you will get the right amount of money for it.
Okay, so our backup plan, if you guys decide that it's just not for you, we have an idea for us to reach out to all the independent schools in the Piedmont and for you guys to set up a conference with them. And we've also been thinking about reaching out to public schools because Coleman knows someone at Davie that could possibly chip in.
So our conclusion is we really looked at like the financial aspect of this, and even if it ends up costing $6,000, which would entail you flying, staying in a pretty nice hotel, eating well, even if it costs us $6,000, we think it's really worth the investment. Because even if you only get the attention of 2 or 3 schools, and you get the donation of 2 or 3 schools, you're making a considerable profit, I guess profit, not really profit, but, and then from when you gain the donations, we think it's crucial that you keep in constant contact with them all the time, making them feel good about their donations, making them feel happy that they gave you the money, showing the progress that you've made, and then possibly hinting at them to spread the word throughout their community and possibly getting entire communities from all across the nation involved in hydrating humanity.
essentially a world of connections. And once you make one connection, that just leads to another connection. It's a big branch. Once you start here, then it can only go here. So we're just hoping that this in some way or some form helps you, even if you don't take the idea, something from the idea that you can go on with and run with in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
So I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes or so per group to just ask questions and provide any feedback that you'd like to.
Yeah, hopefully we don't spend $6,000.
Yeah.
That's your higher
Yeah,
end.
We were
that'd be
just
great.
like-
Yeah,
Like the worst possible outcome.
right, sure.
That'd be a nice hotel.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Let's do this.
No, but I think it's a really good idea. I've actually, even while we've been in contact through this time, I've emailed the lady who sets up all the booths and responded, asked for more information. So she's just sent it. Actually, we were just looking at that here yesterday. So I think it could be definitely worthwhile to do that. I think it'd also be great if there were contact with the schools, kind of your backup plan, if that were able to to happen as well at the same time, actually, instead of just one or the other. I think it'd be great if both of them were merged together.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, if there's a possibility of kind of doing
Yeah.
kind of both, would be great. And just a question in terms of, one of the things you mentioned about the booth itself, creating some type of attention with more emotional, moving pictures instead of information. I love that idea. I think something that we've seen in the nonprofit sector in general, and it's based off of kind of our personalities as well. We want to show joy and kind of the after effect versus the sadness and the issue, because the truth is, the people that we get to help are some of the most joyful people in the world, on the planet, and I mean that.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how joyful. So we try not to manipulate, based off of the sadness, but I guess the question is from your perspective, how do you show both the joy and the need in a way that's not trying to manipulate that? I didn't know if you had any further ideas on what you meant by showing more or demonstrating more of an emotional connection.
I think it would be great if you could, start out and show that there is a need and be realistic, show that things aren't perfect, obviously, in East Africa as far as the water situation, show there's a need, and possibly pull at the heartstrings a little, not too much to where you're manipulating, but then show what you have done and what you can do, and make it instead of saying everything is bad, say everything may not be the best right now, but we have been working on fixing it. We've made a lot of progress, and with your help, we can make even more progress.
It's good. Great job.
Yeah. All right. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.